Author and veteran Tim O'Brien wrote the novel The Things They Carried to communicate the truth of what it was like to be a soldier in the Vietnam War. An important thing to note is that the novel is fictional, and of course, he had the option to write a nonfiction account of his experiences in Vietnam and his pertaining thoughts, but he thought it more effective and appropriate to write it through fiction. Throughout the novel, there are several lies, such as that he killed a man in battle, or that one of the soldiers in Vietnam flew out his girlfriend, and that the girlfriend became a greenie, which is one of the most esteemed factions of the military. While these two stories are untrue, they just didn't happen, they both contribute to communicating the full, greater truth. I'll focus on the chapter Sweetheart of the Song Trebong, which is about the girlfriend who became a greenie and got totally engrossed in war. The truth that O'Brien is attempting to communicate with this chapter is how susceptible Vietnam soldiers were to becoming completely engrossed in warfare and utterly consumed by their thirst for violence, leaving behind all the innocence they brought with them. Now, he could have done this by telling a story about a soldier that he actually witnessed lose their innocence and become totally thirsty for blood and war and violence, but he chooses to do this through a fictional girl character. Keyword, girl. Society sees women as inherently more innocent than men, which already makes a woman's loss of innocence more shocking and drastic. Society also expects women to be sensitive to things like gore and to war, and see it much less likely that a woman becomes so ruthless, brutal, and engrossed by war as Catherine became. In fact, it's actually almost expected of a man to become this way. So, as an audience who inevitably internalizes societal views, it is much more stark and shocking for us to read about a woman who lost her innocence and whose objective in life became only to kill than to see a man become this way. So, by displaying the character that became the most desensitized to horror out of all of them, after all, she wore a necklace of human tongues around her neck, O'Brien communicates just how strong the forces of Vietnam were to turn people completely merciless. After all, seeing a woman become exactly what society thinks she is incapable of really testifies to the power that Vietnam had, which is the truth that O'Brien is focused on conveying. He communicates the truth of Vietnam's tragic impact on people more effectively by developing this lie or made-up scenario. As O'Brien puts it, a true war story does not depend upon that kind of truth. Happeningness is irrelevant. A thing may happen and be a total lie. Another thing may not happen and be truer than the truth. For example, four guys go down to a trail, a grenade sails out, one guy jumps on it and takes the blast, but it's a killer grenade and everybody dies anyway. Before they die, though, one of the dead guys says, "Why'd you do that?" And the jumper says, "Story of my life, man." And the other guy starts to smile, but he's dead. That's a true story that never happened. Through this part of the book, O'Brien communicates to his audience that he tells untrue stories in his novel in order to communicate the best truth. After all, it is the essence and the understanding that the audience is left with that matters the most. O'Brien makes sure to clarify this, so that his audience does not feel lied to and does not resultingly discredit everything he said.